What is going on, guys? It is Prodigy Freebird, heel turns and high spots with my co-host Charlie. This is the AEW Dynamite review. And sorry we could not record yesterday. So if you guys were here when we were live, my Wi-Fi just took a dump. So I don't know what happened. You know, stuff happens. But luckily we are here today. So, you know, we're only one day late. Not too bad, Char. Give me 1 sec. I can't hear you, Char. On the stream. I can hear you fine. It's just I'm not getting any volume on my Yeah, I can see you fine. Oh, I might have figured it out. Let's see. Let me hop back into here. Say something. No. It is crazy because I can literally hear you. You're just not showing. Hold on, say something. Oh, you. I know why. I know why. I see it, but it's me because I just fixed it, but I can't like fix it. What's happening is, you know, like obviously on your computer, if you go to the bottom right, you know how there's like the sound icon, the sound icon. So that is not letting me switch it to the stuff to hear you. It's stuck on my Elgato. That's what it no like that's what I'm trying to do, and it won't let me. So my speakers are set to my Elgato, and I don't know. So I just unplugged that. Can I switch it? No. Hold on. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'll be back. I should be back up in 2 seconds.
Alright.
Yep, we're good.
Mic check?
Yep, we're good.
Perfect?
Yep.
Alright. Move her on. Like I was trying to say before, you know, we had those difficulties, is that we got a long slate today. We got a lot to talk about on today's episode, and it's a beautiful morning episode.
It is. This is the first morning episode of our YouTube podcasting career, so we're happy to do it.
Yeah, 100%.
So before we get into it here, we do got some news. But before we get into the news, Charlie, folks at home, follow us on Twitter. You guys can see it on your screen right now. Mine is Freebird Prodigy. Charlie's is CBelvo44. And our Heel Turns and High Spots Twitter is at HTurn and HSpots. We are doing Twitter Spaces now. I believe I put it in the description, but I have to double check that. If I didn't, I will put it in the description. We did a Twitter Space on Wednesday, a nice watch along to AEW Dynamite, and we had some fun. We got to give a couple of you guys the mic and give you guys our thoughts of what we were seeing on Dynamite, what we were thinking about professional wrestling in general. And yeah, so you guys can just join it and request to talk, and we will give you that for a couple of minutes at least, and then you know, because we want to get as many people as we can in. And we are also on TikTok, guys, at heel turns and high spots on TikTok as well. So we're giving you guys a lot of content. Go check it out. If you guys are enjoying our content, hit a like on the video. Let's try for like 20 likes on this video, guys. It's a lofty goal. Go for 20, and let's get into the news, Char.
Yeah, so first things first, John Morrison, formerly known Johnny Impact on TNA, now known as Johnny Game Changer, is making his GCW debut at GCW Downward Spiral on May 28th. Freeman, this is a downgrade, but do you think he's trying to build himself up to be, not, let me rephrase. This is a down step from where he was before. Do you think he's building himself up to maybe go to a TNA or an AEW again? Or is he, kind of just knows this is the end of what he has to offer in the business?
So I'm going to answer your question in just 1 second. But you want to know what is a downward spiral, Charlie?
What's that?
It is Monday Night Raw. That's a downward spiral. Anyway,
wow.
we all know that that John Morrison has been through a lot of names. I did want to mention that. He's had like 17 different names. And when I think of Johnny Gargano, I didn't think he was gonna go to GCW. Like when I think of GCW, I don't think of John Morrison. And I was actually expecting John Morrison to go to Impact. So I don't know. Maybe he's just making the rounds. He wants to maybe work with people that he hasn't worked yet. Maybe it's Alex Shelley. I'd actually like to see that match, Alex Shelley versus John Morrison. Maybe it's he gets a tag team partner. Maybe he wants to work with the Briscoes. Who knows? But I think he is a phenomenal wrestler, and I think he just wants to wrestle. He couldn't do that in WWE, so I think this is a phenomenal play. I think any place would be good for him to wrestle.
Yeah, I was right there with you. I did not expect him to go to GCW at all. Just doesn't seem like the right fit. I was thinking maybe more of like a Major League Wrestling situation, and like you said, maybe go back to Impact. But yeah, this seems very out of place. And GCW has a roster of really, really talented wrestlers who I think would line up to wrestle John Morrison. So, I think he's got a good maybe 6 months there, and then I think it's time to move on for bigger and better things for him eventually. But yeah, WWE once again drops the ball on an amazing talent.
Do you know how long he signed for?
I don't know. Currently, it just says he signed for that one show, but it also said John Morrison debut. That tends to mean that he's gonna have more in the future.
Yes. So maybe it's just like maybe he signed on for just a case by case basis.
Right. Yeah, and we don't even know who he's wrestling.
Yeah.
So I will keep you guys in tune for that. But yeah, let's move on. AEW has the trios titles made.
Wow.
They're done, and they are just waiting for Kenny Omega to come back from his injury. And Freeman, we talk about this, it seems like every time we go live, and we are stoked for this.
We are stoked for this. We knew that. We knew just by watching the BCC and really just the BCC, we knew that that they're obviously keeping the trio division red hot right now, and just keeping that the seat warm for the trio champions. I would have to think that first beats the Blackpool. I would have to think Blackpool Combat Club is our first trios champion, just because of how they're booked. I don't see House of Black beating them. Frankly, I don't think House of Black has been booked good enough.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's gonna be great. The Trios Championship is one that me and you have both been waiting for, so I can't. Hopefully, they do come sooner rather than later, and I do think that maybe we'll talk about it later in this episode here. But maybe it is close to the time that we start seeing Kenny Omega back in the ring.
Can you say that one more time? Your microphone cut out.
I said maybe it's about that time we start seeing Kenny Omega back in the ring, and we'll talk about that later. But
It cut out at the exact time you were going to say the thing.
We'll see Kenny Omega come back later. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Yes, 100%. And it seems like they're still to this day creating more trios, more factions. So come tournament time, which is probably what we'll see happen, we're gonna have a lot of really important names, much like we see in the Owen right now. Like we're gonna sit back and look like, holy shit, they put this together. You're like, this is something that this is like a fanfare
Yeah.
situation, and that's what these titles are gonna be. And yeah, hopefully much better than the way the Ring of Honor booked them.
Yeah, I would like to see. Well, I would say, do you think that they're keeping Jurassic Express to get or like Christian with them right now? Do you think they're keeping them just for the Trios Championship?
I wouldn't say just for. Um, my thing is like if Christian leaves Jurassic Express, there's really not much for him to do. Like he's not even close to the best wrestler on the roster, right? And if they turn him heel, which is what they're gonna have to do, he's nowhere close. He won't be nowhere near the most important heel, you
So,
know? Like who does he beat?
so,
He doesn't even beat Lance Archer on television right now. Like
so
believably.
I don't think you do it. I think you do it just for the fact that he frankly just doesn't need to be with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus anymore. Like their two are both incredible in the ring. And so what I think you should do is I think when the Trios Championships get here, I think you give Jungle Jurassic Express a run with the Trios Championship, and then after that run is when you turn Christian heel.
You cut out again. Your microphone keeps. I have to like kind of keep interpreting what you're saying because it cuts out like a bunch mid sentence.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I can work with it. I just have to like read your lips.
So weird. So
Yeah.
weird. Well, maybe I can get closer. I can get closer to the mic too. That could be it.
Yeah, that might be it. But yeah,
Um,
I probably agree with what you're saying. We only praise the factions and the trios in this company, and just adding a title, something to work for. Great idea.
yeah. So I do got some more news, Charlie. Johnny Gargano, his wife, Candice LeRae, is officially a free agent as her contract with the WWE has expired. This is according to Fightful. LeRae was added to the alumni section to the WWE website this morning. Apparently, she did not get time added to her contract for being out. Where would you like to see her go?
Well, we were talking pre-stream. You brought up the idea that we see them two as like a couple, an on-screen couple, go out in the feud with Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti, which is just wonderful. I think that's a great idea. But yeah, I think it's AEW 100%. Both these, I just took a look. I'm not familiar with her work, but I just looked. She's got multiple 4-star, four
Yeah.
and a half star matches. So she will be an asset to the company just based off of that. You know, I know it just melts her ratings, but just come on. It's hard to get a 4-star match, let alone a 4.5-star match.
Yeah. She, I've seen a couple of her matches. She's pretty good. I do think that it's going to be a little bit before we do see them in the ring because as they've just had their kid, I don't know how long like is a good time to like take care of your kid and then decide to come back. Like that's not up to us. That's up to them.
Yeah.
So whenever they feel ready, they're going to come back, and I would suspect we see them in AEW because I don't think there's too much left for them in WWE. I think they know if they go back to WWE that Johnny Gargano won't be pushed. I think Johnny Gargano is smarter than that. They know that they can't go back to NXT either. So I think they will look elsewhere, and I think that they're gonna look at Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, all of their friends that were with them in NXT. They're gonna see them in AEW, and I think they're gonna join them.
Yeah, I could, once again, you cut out, but I can probably interpret what you're saying. So yeah, they're definitely, it's the same Roderick Strong situation. He's looking at all of his buddies, and he's like, I want to have fun like that. Like like they look like they're having a great time. They get to book their own stories. They get to tell stories and be characters that they actually want to be, that they know the crowd will be receptive to. But yeah, I think every single time it seems that a decent wrestler, because WWE doesn't have the greatest roster in the entire world, but every time a decent wrestler gets released, and they do very frequently, AEW is always my first thought. It's like, all right, if they couldn't, if they felt they couldn't tell their story in WWE, I got a wonderful place for them. You know what I mean, to tell their story.
Yeah, and it's almost like I think Tony Khan said it himself in an interview. It's so weird that WWE is releasing all this great talent. Like Tony Khan can't believe some of the talent WWE is releasing.
No, 100%. And it's on a weekly basis. This
is
a tale as old as time at this point.
It is.
But yeah, that's why AEW will consistently remain relevant, because WWE is literally gifting these wrestlers on a silver platter for them. And AEW can get them for cheap, build them up, and then do what they, it's going to be great every single time. Every single time WWE releases somebody, AEW is always my first thought.
Yeah, 100%. I would agree with you. I think AEW is probably number 2 in the USA right now.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, my unofficial rankings as it goes is WWE, as unfortunate as it is number 1. AEW is number 2. Impact's number 3, and the GCW is number 4.
I would have to agree with you on that front.
Yeah, even though Impact's trying to be bigger than WWE at this moment, right? But they just don't. Why are we always talking about Impact? But they don't have the roster.
You're the one who watches Impact.
I know, but it's like, I say this all the time. The best part of Impact is not the wrestlers on their rosters, it's the people that they bring in, and it's the super matches that they create. But eventually, they're going to run out of people to bring over. So, but who cares about that?
For real. Let's get into AEW Dynamite here, Charlie. We got a long show to do.
Yep, 100%. All right, so first up, you got Jeff Hardy and Bobby Fish. This is an Owen Hart qualifier match. This is the 6th person in the qualifier tournament. Yeah, that's what the goal is. That's what they're fighting for. We got Adam Cole on commentary, and Jeff comes out, and he's wearing Owen Hart pink, which I thought was very reminiscent. I feel like I've heard somewhere that Jeff Hardy's the only member in this tournament to actually wrestle Owen Hart, which I thought is very interesting. Like, Jeff actually wrestled Owen Hart. That's cool as fuck.
That
right?
just shows how old the Hardys are.
It is not just that fact that showed how old the Hardys were.
No.
So Jeff has the early advantage, and he's working Bobby Fish's arm and punishing him in the corner. Bobby Fish then takes advantage with a double leg and grabs a hold of a leg and then hits a dragon corkscrew. Bobby Fish then works Jeff Hardy on the mat and tries for a senton, but Jeff Hardy moves out of the way.
Oh, can I interrupt for a second?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, how do you feel about Jeff Hardy's bump card?
Oh my god! So he didn't really take any huge ones this match, thankfully.
No.
But he's got nothing. He's got nothing.
He's on E. Nothing. He's on E.
Dude, literally, he looks gassed. I'm sorry. I grew up a huge Jeff Hardy fan. I need you to understand how big of a Jeff Hardy fan. I was literally Jeff Hardy 2 years in a row for Halloween. Like, yes, I was a huge Jeff Hardy. I'm telling you. My man is on E, dog. Before the bell even rings, he's on E, man. He can't go anymore. He can't.
That's funny.
Especially in singles matches. Bobby Fish literally had to carry him through this match, man.
Yeah.
It was...
Yeah. I would have to agree with you.
Yeah. So Bobby Fish is working on Jeff Hardy on the mat and then tries for a senton. They fight to the outside, and Bobby Fish hits another corkscrew into the barricade. And this is when I actually got logged into my TNT app on my computer, so I was able to actually watch from the website. But this means I cannot watch picture-in-picture, so if you want to watch picture-in-picture stuff, you gotta watch the show. Sorry, guys. Because neither of us are watching the show in picture-in-picture. But after picture-in-picture, both men are struggling to get up when Jeff Hardy tries for an atomic drop, but Bobby Fish reverses it with a kick to the sternum and multiple high kicks. Jeff Hardy starts his comeback and hits an atomic drop and a double drop kick to the legs for 2. This is when I realized that Jeff Hardy needs a new comeback because Jeff Hardy's comeback sucks. He's literally just like, what, like, blah. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Kind
like,
of, yeah.
They're running the ropes, just going blah.
Yeah.
Blah. Like, do a move, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a move.
Yeah, like do your taunt or something, you know.
Something.
Yeah,
That's not a move.
Yeah.
So Jeff Hardy tries once again. I was Jeff Hardy 2 years in a row for Halloween. Like, this is coming from my heart. So Jeff Hardy tries for the Swanton, but Bobby Fish wakes up and hits Jeff Hardy's legs out, and then hits Avalanche Falcon Arrow for 2. And when Jeff Hardy kicks out, he instantly goes for the heel hook, but Jeff Hardy eventually reaches the ropes. Bobby Fish is amazing. That transition from pin to heel hook just makes so much sense. And every time he's in the ring, I'm just so impressed with him and his partner Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah, I love Red Dragon. I was a little disappointed when they did not win the tag team championships, but obviously that's understandable. And I just can't wait to see what they else do in AEW. And did you hear? We didn't talk about. We talked a little bit about it, I guess. But did you hear that that Roderick? Well, I guess we did talk about it. Roderick Strong is released, and I can't wait until. Obviously, he's going to AEW. Okay.
Yeah, like he literally just talked about.
Oh, did you mention it?
Oh, well, I just mentioned the fact that he's looking at his old buddies.
But it's going to be great because he's going to fit right into the Undisputed Elite, and it is going to be gold. The Undisputed Era is going to be back together, and it is going to be great. It is literally like we're watching Triple H's NXT, man.
Dude, it's going to be crazy because you can have Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish go for the trios, right? If you want. You can have Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish go for the tag team titles. You can have Cole go for the world championship.
Roddy could also go for the TNT championship, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like AEW's roster is so stacked. But this match is almost over. Let me get through it. So Jeff Hardy gets a whisper in the wind, and then Swanton for the win. Bam. The finish felt rushed, in my opinion. It's just one of those things where the guy gets hit with a move and then somehow manages to hit his finisher, and then that's the end of the match. Like, it shouldn't work like that. It should go, you hit a move to tire out, to weaken your opponent, then you hit your finisher, then you get the win. It should never go, your opponent hits a move on you, then you hit your finisher, then you get the win. That just doesn't make any sense.
Can I be honest here? So I think that the Avalanche. So the Avalanche Falcon Zero, by the way, is one of my favorite moves in all of AEW right now. I do think that that this match. I mean, I don't know. This match was fine for me. It did what it needed to do. I guess what I'm really looking forward to is Sting versus, or not Sting, Jeff Hardy versus Darby match. And I mean, we'll talk about that later, but it is that, like, the Swanton Bomb versus the Coffin Drop to me is just such an interesting story because they're just great moves.
They are great moves, and they'll be able to tell it, and they'll be doing a lot of. Darby, once again, every single person who gets in the ring with Jeff is going to have to carry him, and Darby will be able to carry him.
Yeah.
You know, Jeff won't have to bump a lot. Darby will take most of the bad bumps, and at the end, Darby will get the win, and that'll be that.
Yeah. This was. I mean, I don't know. What would you give this match, Charlie? I think I gave this a 6 out of 10.
I rated it a 7. So 7 to me is kind of like I got exactly what I expected from it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I got a 7 from me.
Yeah, it got a 6 from me. But I mean, not to say it wasn't a good match, because it was.
Yeah. Yep. But so after that, the Young Bucks come out, and it's looking like and they do kind of do like a stare down with the Hardys, and it's looking like it's going to be Young Bucks and Hardys in the future. But yeah, the Young Bucks don't do anything heelish. They just go and console Bobby Fish, and they move on to the next segment.
Yeah, I would assume that is probably at Double or Nothing, the Hardys versus the Young Bucks, but I could be wrong. But I mean, that should be a good match.
Yep. Doesn't need a title to be important, but that leaves two pretty major tag teams not available for challenging the AEW World Tag Team Championships, right? So who does that leave for Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus?
Well, we already know that Powerhouse Hobbs.
FTR, duh.
No,
FTR.
them and we already know that Starks and Hobbs are going against them right now. So,
Yep.
I mean, they have a lot of options. You know, there's a wide that tag team division is wide open.
Yep. Yeah, it really is, and it's just I feel bad for Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus because they're the champions, but they're nowhere near the best tag team in the division. Like I can name. All right, let me just go off the top of my head. We got Young Bucks, better. Red Dragon, better. FTR, better. I guess that's probably it. But there's 3 tag teams better than the champion right now. So it just shit happens. I guess they're kind of put in a tough spot.
Charlie, I apologize. I have to go unlock my front door. Can you do the William Regal segment?
Yeah, the William Regal pre-tape?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, cool. Go for it. So, after this match, we had a pre-tape that was on Twitter, and it was narrated by William Regal, and essentially he was making a metaphor, and he was saying, if you gave 100 people a knife, 99% of, or if you gave 100 people a knife, and tell them to stab their worst enemy, they would do it. They would just stab them, and that would be the end of it. They would kill them. But the members of the BCC, they would put a scar across their cheek, right? So that way, every time their enemy looked in the mirror, they would see a scar that the BCC put on them. And that was essentially it in showing how, I guess, badass. It's very Peaky Blinders-y. Would you agree, Freeman? They feel like, I don't know if you've ever seen that show, but it reminds me of the Peaky Blinders.
I have not seen that show. I still have yet to. I wish I went and watched this on Twitter because I wanted to see the longer version of it.
Yeah.
But I do know that William. Well, we really saw it. William Regal was like stretching Wheeler Yuta, and man, I guess like for some reason like in my head like I never assumed that William Regal would like still work. Like I mean from the Chris Jericho podcast, I mean I knew he was working like as late as like 2014. But for some reason, I just didn't think that like he still was getting in the ring.
So what I was surprised to learn is that I was always under the impression that Bryan Danielson was mentored by William Regal. That wasn't the case at all. They went up at the same time.
Yeah.
So William Regal actually he's been wrestling ever since the Carnival days.
Yep.
But it's turned as going to like a major promotion. Like it was pretty late in his career when he actually got his push.
Yeah.
Like he was like in his mid-30s already. So even when he was like a young gun at WCW, like he had an old-looking face.
Yeah.
And he's always been like that. So I've always been under the impression, and he still has like a very old-looking face. He's literally had that face for 20 years at this point.
Yeah.
So I was always under the impression that he was a mentor to Daniel Bryan, but they actually went up at the same time, and it sounds more like Daniel Bryan was more of a mentor for him rather than him to Daniel Bryan. But yeah, I love William Regal. Yeah. I always choose him in my GM.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to kick your ass in some.
Dude, it's not gonna happen. You can call me Tony Khan. I'm the best booker around.
You know what? This is gonna have to be a little challenge on the podcast here. I'm gonna have to come over one day, and me and you are gonna have to sit down. Play a little universe mode for the podcast, play a little my GM mode, play a little WWE at your apartment. It's gonna be great.
Yes. Yeah, over the summer I would not putting this in stone or anything, but I definitely see a lot more WWE 2K content just because we'll be in the same vicinity and we'll be able to commentate right next to each other and just play the game in the same room. So that would be really nice.
Yeah, and I have a PlayStation camera too, so you'll be able to see us.
Perfect.
But it's just a little hard right now. I'm at school. Charlie's back at home, so we're just making the best case out of a bad situation.
There we go.
Oh, what would you rate this promo? I gave this an 8 out of 10.
So I guess I didn't really rate it or think about a rating, but I thought it was awesome. I mean, if you look at my personal Twitter account's header right now, it's a picture from that promo. You know, so
I wanna fact check that.
Really, yeah, it was. I was a big fan of it for sure. I love BCC. It has my
no way
wrestler. Yeah, no shit. Hey.
No, we can confirm.
So yeah, that shows you how much I appreciated the promo. And Bryan Danielson's my favorite wrestler in the entire world, forever and always. When people ask me who's my favorite wrestler ever, I say Bryan Danielson. So that goes to show you how much I appreciate his work and how much I appreciate the BCC as a whole.
I'm gonna break kayfabe here, Charlie, a little bit. Did you know that Charles Omega actually trained with Bryan Danielson?
Say that one more time.
Did you know that Charles Omega actually trained with Bryan Danielson?
Charles Omega, my WWE 2K creator wrestler, who's pretty much Bryan Danielson with a better beard and dreadlocks.
Wow, a better beard. That's a little what's the word I'm looking for? That's a little I don't know if I would call it better. I think Bryan Danielson's got you, actually.
But yeah, you want to get in the BCC match?
Yep. So the match starts off. Wheeler Yuta has yet another pair of new tights. Charlie, we noticed that we talked about it on the Twitter space.
Yep.
Moxley and Bryan Danielson are 3-0 in our AEW's number 4 ranked tag team. We also talked about that on the Twitter space. But I would like to see him make a run at the tag team championships. I don't know if it happens. I bet you it happens before or after Double or Nothing. But that would be my guess. But
they can't lose.
No. Nope. As Moxley is making his entrance, this war begins. Butcher goes right after Moxley in the crowd.
Can I cut in?
You can.
As William Regal makes his way to the commentary booth, he looks at Excalibur and goes, "Ooh, your side profile it's very, very scrummy. Ooh." And it was just the most out of place, not William Regal thing ever, bro. It was hilarious, dude.
What I think's funny about it is he still calls Excalibur the man with the mask.
Man with the mask.
It's not Excalibur. It's the man with the mask. Butcher goes right after Moxley in the crowd, sends him into the steel barricade. Blade starts attacking Danielson in the ring. Bell rings. Blade starts chopping Danielson. Clothesline to Danielson's. He tags in Angelico, and Angelico rolls him up. Kick to the chest, followed by a chop to Danielson, and Danielson kicks Angelico in the corner. Followed by a running knee strike. Danielson tags in Wheeler Yuta, followed by Wheeler Yuta chance. You know, Yuta chance. Angelico tags in Blade. Yuta hits an arm drag into a wrist lock. Butcher tags himself in. Wheeler goes for a drop kick, and Butcher does not even flinch. Butcher hits a low crossbody. And not even gonna lie here, I was scared at Yuta. Like I knew Butcher was great in the ring, but like just the amount of sheer size Butcher has over Yuta. I was a little afraid that Yuta was gonna get hurt, but obviously I knew that Butcher was safe.
Yeah, Butcher actually and Blade are both notoriously extremely safe workers. It's kind of got that thing like when you see somebody like Butcher and Blade, they're probably super unsafe. You know, they probably have to get calmed down. But like them and Kane, sorry, I'm not flipping you off. Kane. I was extremely surprised to learn are extremely safe workers and people actually like and look forward to working with these big monstrous men, you know. Just complete contrast from the character they play on the screen.
Yeah, after the commercial break, Butcher throws Yuta in the corner, and then Yuta hits a German suplex to Butcher. How is that even possible, bro? Awesome.
It was huge.
Awesome. Yuta tags in Moxley, who takes out Blade. He throws Blade all over the ringside area, literally all over the ringside area. Literally literally around the whole ringside area.
Yeah.
They go outside. They go inside. I'm sorry. Moxley hits a cutter. Butcher tags in Angelico, who hits a roundhouse. Moxley tags in Danielson. Danielson locks in a wrist lock. Then Moxley and Yuta are elbowing Butcher in the Blade while Danielson kicks in Angelico's head in. Danielson locks in the triangle sleeper and Angelico taps out. Great match. I mean, like we talked about it. BCC just needs to keep on winning.
Yeah, and I'm very curious to see if the Blackpool Combat Club are going to have any more members, because if they are, Angelico would be a great addition to that. I was extremely impressed by him today, or on Wednesday rather. His submissions, his holds looked really cool, and very realistic as well. He's a great high flyer. I think he'd be a great addition to Blackpool Combat Club. And if not Blackpool Combat Club, just get him on my screen more. Get him some new. I said the same exact thing about Yuta. Get him some new ring gear and get him on my television screen, because I was impressed by him.
He gave you different ring gear, so.
Yeah, Yuta did give me. Like,
Can I fantasy book for a second?
Please do.
Okay, so we have my mind's blanking right now. Who are the twins that we have in AEW right now? The Charlotte twins? Not Charlotte. We saw them a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking
about.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm thinking, Char. Okay? I'm thinking we bring in the Bella twins, okay? Let's turn them into the Blackpool Combat Club, okay? Just bring them in. Just turn them into, some I don't know. That's probably not the greatest idea, actually, but, maybe bring in some, like, MMA, maybe prepare. I hate Marina Shafir, okay? But put Marina Shafir or people like Marina Shafir in the group. Like, put an MMA style people in the group. Serena Deeb. And I think I think Serena Deeb, bro, would be great in that group.
Yes. And once again, I know I just said that this is complete, I don't know what the word is, but doesn't go together. Blackpool Combat Club did mention, and I remember this after I mentioned Serena Deeb, that they want unestablished wrestlers. So maybe like a Marina Shafir is like what they're looking for here. Somebody who's got that judo background but can't really put it together in a wrestling ring yet.
I mean, there's nobody better to learn it than the violence of Jon Moxley, the technical style of Bryan Danielson, and just the knowledge about the product in William Regal.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Yuta is getting, and is being shown on the screen. Yuta, by the way, is going to be competing in the New Japan. It's kind of like a G1 style Super Juniors tournament, so definitely going to be keeping tabs on him and supporting our AEW homegrown talent.
Yeah, and I'm making a prediction right here, right now. We are going to see Bryan Danielson in a ring with Kazuchika Okada at Forbidden Door.
Oh, yeah. I would definitely see that for sure. Yeah, I guess we're ready to move on?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So
all
we got Jurassic. What's that?
I just said all you.
Oh, cool. We got Jurassic Express and Starks and Hobbs backstage with Tony Schiavone. In Jungle Boy, in reference to the match that Starks and Hobbs requested, says that the match sounds fun. And Luchasaurus agrees by grunting, as he does. But he says before they get to challenge for the tag team. Sorry, my mind's going 1,000 miles per hour. Jungle Boy wants a shot at the FTW title, Ricky Starks' FTW title. Christian, who has a fantastic dad shirt on, calls out Starks on the fact that he never defends his title, and then the match becomes official next week on Dynamite. We got Jungle Boy versus Ricky Starks in a FTW title match.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a great match. I know we both love all of the wrestlers in the ring, so I think I've literally seen Ricky Starks defend it once. Actually, I haven't seen him defend it. We've seen him win the championship, and that's it.
Yeah. So he has defended it a few times. I would probably say 3 times on TV.
Once was Battle of the Belts, right?
Yep. Yep.
Um,
He defended it against Tony Nese as well. I can't think of all the defenses, but
yeah,
the Taz group and their rivals.
yeah.
That normal circle. That title, by the way, is Hook's when the time comes. But I love Jungle Boy. I absolutely love Ricky Starks. This is going to be a banger, and I truly have no idea who's going to win this one. It makes sense for Ricky Starks to win, but when you think about it, Jungle Boy can't take another big singles loss.
No, he
Right?
definitely. I feel like he definitely needs a win.
Yeah, he definitely needs this win. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it for
Yeah.
sure. And then we got literally right afterwards we had Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee in the back. Was this with Lexi or was this by themselves?
I think by themselves.
Yeah. So Swerve Strickland says that they have unfinished business with Team Taz, and that says that before Team Taz gets their shot at the titles, they're going to be taking revenge on them, and they say they're going to swerve in their glory. Is that the name of the tag team they're going with? Because if you remember correctly, it was Jungle Boy. It was the Young Bucks versus. I'm sorry, it might have been Red Dragon versus Luchasaurus, and then on the same card it was Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee versus Starks and Hobbs. And I actually thought the Starks and Hobbs match was better than the Jurassic Express match. So I love Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee as a tag team, and Swerve in Our Glory, I think it's a pretty good tag team name, I guess.
I don't think it's their tag team name. I just think it's a play on words because usually Keith Lee says Baskin in your glory.
Yeah. It's definitely a play on words.
Yeah, but so I don't know if this is definitely the name of their tag team, but it's probably just their tagline.
Yeah, their moniker.
Yeah,
if you will.
Yeah.
But either way, they're once again extending feuds and extending feuds that don't need to be extended. I love all 4 competitors, but this needs to be done. This should have been done weeks ago. It's like they get these characters in ruts where they just have to face, and I hate to say it, but it's very WWE style where they just kind of like have different matches within the members of 2 tag teams feuding with each other. It's like it doesn't need to be the same copy paste story every time. Like you can just have like a match or 2 and be done. It doesn't need to be like 3 months long.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know why why did we need to involve Taz here? Why couldn't we just end the storyline and move him on to someone else?
It made no sense.
It did not make any sense.
Especially, and I'm saying all of this in assumption that Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee are going to be a tag team together. I'm not 100% sure. They haven't confirmed if they are or not. But if they are, that would be dope. But Starks and Hobbs are, so it makes sense that they should be Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. But if they're going to challenge for the titles, how are you going to challenge for the titles after barely winning against a barely tag team? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
You want them looking strong going into the championship match. You don't want them looking like Adam Cole going into any given title match that he looks in, where it looks like the second there's no disqualification, oh shit, he's got no chance because he can only win by cheating.
Yep.
But that's another story.
Yeah, it is. Let's move on here, Charlie. Let's move on here. Moving on. We got Wardlow versus William Morrissey, the formerly known as Big Cass in WWE. They show Wardlow walking in from the parking lot. MJ walks out, says, "I would love to say it's great to be back in Maryland, but I'd be a lying piece of shit." And look, it's Wardlow. Wardlow, I'm not staying out here. I'm going to watch the match in the back. You should be terrified of the man in the back. Ladies and gentlemen, William Morrissey. William, then...
I'm gonna I gotta blow my nose and it's gonna be gross. I'm gonna just turn my screen off really quick.
Okay. Wardlow says, "I'm not staying out here. I'm going to watch the match in the back. You should be terrified of the man in the back." Ladies and gentlemen, William Morrissey. William goes for a high five, and MJF asked William to lower his hand, which I thought was pretty funny. MJF runs to the back, We did not get any Enzo here. We did get we want Enzo, no we don't chance. I'll get into that in a second.
Yep.
The match begin. I'm missing something here. John Harbaugh, the coach of the Ravens, is actually in the building. Who I guess he was college roommates with Brian Pillman, Jr.'s dad, aka Brian Pillman. So
What's up?
bless up, bless up. The match.
Let me interject.
Yeah.
I have to. I'm ADHD. I have to. If you haven't, I know Doctor Under the Ring got canceled, but if you haven't seen it, check out their piece on Brian Pillman Sr. It is incredible, and they do this really cool segment where they compare Brian Cage, of all people, Brian Cage's moveset to Brian Pillman's moveset. I guess Pillman Sr. trained Brian Cage, and like their movesets are practically identical, bro. Brian Cage is literally like a copy paste of Brian Pillman Sr.
No way.
And if you just haven't checked out that piece, it's really, really beautiful.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. Match begins. They tie up. Wardlow drives Morrissey in the corner. Morge sledgehammer blows to the back. Morrissey does a splash to the corner and was going for another one, but Wardlow quickly catches him in the corner with an uppercut. Wardlow goes for a splash, but Morrissey leapfrogs Wardlow and drives it and delivers a spinning kick to Wardlow. MJF was happy in the back. This is where we get the "we want Enzo, no we don't" chance. Personally, Charlie, I do want Enzo here. I think he would have provided so much to try to cost Wardlow the match.
Yeah.
I really don't get why all this hate is getting on Wardlow here when Enzo was, innocent. It's probably because people are a little annoyed with his shtick. But
yes.
Nonetheless, I think it would provide a little bit of excitement to see them in a ring again together.
Yeah, I bet there's a few reasons. One, he is extremely polarizing. For whatever reason, he had controversies in the past. I'm not even going to bring up what those controversies were because it's been proven otherwise that he didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to bring them up to not shed any light. But yeah, ever since that moment, people turned on Enzo. I think he's energetic. I think he's hilarious. But in this particular setting, I think it's fine. I think that they didn't bring him here because they wanted Morrissey to look strong. In one way to make somebody look not super strong is that they have somebody around the ringside jumping around trying to distract every moment they can.
Yeah. But continuing on here, Morrissey bangs Wardlow's head off the apron. Wardlow strikes Morrissey's back. Morrissey hits a nice big boss man slam, and then he puts Wardlow on the top rope. Wardlow counters Morrissey and delivers a moonsault to Morrissey. That was a nice looking moonsault. Wardlow landed on his feet, and I used landed loosely because he just fell on his back. But Wardlow hits one power bomb and beats William. Now I did see this on Twitter that people were saying that Wardlow buried William William. And this is what I got to tell you. It was a great little match here, and this is AEW, Charlie. This is an Impact. This is AEW, All Elite Wrestling. Tony Khan is going to do what his AEW wrestlers, what's good for his AEW wrestlers. He doesn't necessarily care what's good for Impact.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. Couldn't agree with you anymore. He came over here.
Yeah.
He's here to make all the guys look good.
Yeah.
It's not AEW's job to make Morrissey look good. It only is their job when it benefits, once again, their own wrestlers.
Yeah.
They wanted Morrissey to look good because Wardlow's going over.
Yep.
Right? Wardlow is the one going over. And it wasn't a squash match, not even close to a squash match. Wardlow's the better wrestler in the show.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
That's all it was.
Yep. MJF was pissed off backstage. Security walks out. Wardlow starts beating all of them up. Literally, there's 20,000 security guards out there, and Wardlow takes all of them out. No one in the ring. MJF walks out, calling more people, more security guards who come out and and Wardlow takes them out easily. Huge pop.
Yep.
Wardlow throws a guard over the rope, and Wardlow says, "How many times I have to tell you? It doesn't matter how big they are. I won't stop until I get my hands on you, and you release me of my contract." MJF says, "Settle down. Let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. You want to get your hands on me and release me on my contract, or Wardlow is gonna kill you?" Chant breaks out. How would you feel if me and you had a little match? If you win, I will let you out of your contract. Hey Wardlow, you're on, but I got a couple of conditions. I will give you the conditions in a contract signing, and they will happen in the most magical place in the world, Long Island, New York. And this is very interesting because if you know anything about Long Island, New York, you know that MJF is going to be treated as a babyface. So,
Yeah.
so that's going to be a really interesting thing next week.
Yeah, so this is perfect. So this will make him able to be like, "Do you guys want to see Wardlow handcuffed?" And then the crowd's gonna cheer, "Yes," right? So it's gonna create a really interesting dynamic. The shows MJF is just thinking many, many steps above whoever the baby face is at this moment. But Wardlow looks ready, and when they eventually get out of Long Island and hopefully out of a heel crowd, because Long Island is a heel crowd, um, they'll have that match, and then Wardlow's gonna look great, no matter how it works.
Yeah.
I expect to see something along the lines of I just brought up handcuffs, so like Wardlow's probably gonna be handcuffed to something, and Sean Spears will be able to be involved. It's gonna be a whole thing. It's gonna be an unwinnable situation for Wardlow to win. And then they're going to have the rematch at Double or Nothing 100%. That's what I'm putting that's going to be on my grave, and that's what I'm putting down into the universe.
I think the match will be at Double or Nothing.
But we want to see. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I just think that because AEW, and I can totally be off here. This is just my personal opinion. Because AEW only has 4 pay-per-views a year, that the babyface should be the one going over at the pay-per-views. Always. Pretty much always. But that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people don't agree with that. They like the randomness of wrestling matches, but in my opinion, I think pay-per-view should be treated as like the end of season where everything kind of wraps up.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Wardlow gets his win.
Yeah, I think Wardlow gets his win at Double or Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you think he wins against in the stipulation match?
Yeah, at Double or Nothing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I think MJF's going to create a literally unwinnable situation for Wardlow. And then Wardlow's going to be like, "This is bullshit. I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing until I get a fair match." And then that's when they're going to do the rematch.
No, I think they just do one match with all the stipulations, and then Wardlow wins.
All right. And that way, yeah. Yeah, okay. The only problem with that is that it kind of buries MJF. Because he lost.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. It's MJF.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
He'll be 100% fine.
Oh.
Yep. So next up we got Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Tony Storm, and Ruby Soho backstage. Britt Baker says the AEW history books have her name written all over it, and you cannot deny that. That's not what she said. That's what I'm saying. Britt Baker is an absolute staple in the AEW women's division. Ruby Soho then says that Tony Storm can't wait to get her hands on Jamie Hayter, and Britt Baker has a receipt coming, and then they promote their tag match on Rampage coming up in about, what do we got? 3.5 hours now. 4.5 hours. So
Yeah.
That's when the match will be. But yeah, it's going to be looking like Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm and Ruby Soho on Rampage.
And you can't teach that.
And you can't teach that. You can't.
Hangman Adam Page promo here, Charlie. Page says, "It wouldn't be easy for me to come out here and say how much I love and respect CM Punk. It's easy for me to tell you that I'm looking forward to fight the best in the world. But that won't happen. At Double or Nothing, there won't be a handshake, a Bret Hart tribute match. I will destroy CM Punk." Hangman Page looks at a fan in the eye with a CM Punk shirt on. This shirt, in fact. The shirt. And it says he will be running to the merch stand to get a refund. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but CM Punk is not here tonight, Charlie. If I'm a betting man, he is filming a TV show, but hear me out. I will embarrass you. You wanted a fight, and Punk, it will be the fight of your life. Now, Charlie, on Twitter Spaces, I was very critical of this promo. I want to retract my statements here. This promo was great because it was one of those tweener promos. He's not a heel, goons. He just he knows he is going to have to fight CM Punk, and he's gonna have to do everything to get the win at Double or Nothing.
Yeah. There was some conversation about this on Twitter. Obviously, everything that Hangman does comes with a lot of criticism. I'm a huge Hangman fan. I think he is the greatest AEW World Champion that we have had ever, and that includes Jon Moxley through the pandemic era, and that includes Kenny Omega. I freaking love Hangman's reign, and I think when you contrast this, kind of like the earlier stuff when he was trying to find his way, when he was trying to figure out what kind of champion he was going to be, I love this side of Hangman, and I think that the aggressive babyface world champion is 100% something that people can get behind, and the people who are just straight up saying that this was a heel promo are just blatantly wrong, and I rarely ever just say that you're just wrong, but not you personally. But the people who are saying that this is a heel promo are just wrong. This isn't a heel promo. This is a tweener promo.
Yeah, it's definitely not a heel promo. This is they're not the same thing.
No.
He's not full out heel. He'll be back in probably next week.
Yeah, it's so what when Bryan Danielson faced Hangman Page, he decided he was the one that was going to go heel. And this was again before when Hangman was trying to figure out what kind of champion he was going to be, right? But now we have Hangman. When it's babyface versus babyface, we have Hangman kind of turning into the to the dark side a little bit. So this is going to be cool, and I expect him to get the win at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, I also expect. Well, actually, no, I don't. I think CM Punk gets the win. I don't see how Hangman Page is going to win this match.
That's fair. I honestly think that he's going to lose to MJF. I think that is going to be the person who eventually takes the title off of him. I know you want CM Punk to be the one that loses the title to MJF.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. But I don't think CM Punk's the one to take the title off Hangman. I think it should be a hot heel. I don't care who that is. If it goes back to Kenny Omega, I wouldn't even be mad. Not a huge fan of Punk winning the title here. I think it goes against everything that he stands for. Because when you contrast this would be the very similar situation when Rock came back, right, and won the title off of Punk at Royal Rumble. It's a very similar situation. We got a hot baby face, and then we got an old legend coming in and taking the title away from the hot baby face. And what happened to Rock?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People kind of turned on Rock a little bit after that.
Yeah, they did. We'll have to see what happened. Like I said, I'm sure it'll be fine. I can't wait till Double or Nothing.
Yeah, it's going to be a great match. I have no expectations. I don't know the length of this match. I don't even know what this match will look like. JR kind of touched on the fact that this is clash of styles. This truly is. CM Punk with the more technical style, Hangman's the more brawler style. And I'm interested to see who's going to be the one kind of like carrying this one through, you know. I expect it to be Punk because he's the vet. But honestly, Hangman has something to prove as well. He might want to get something going by himself as well.
Yeah, we'll have to, we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. I think, I bet you I'm going to actually retract my statement. I think we see these tweener promos up until the pay-per-view, and then after the pay-per-view, he'll start being a face again.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, do you think he continues going on with this tweener promo persona?
Yeah, until the pay-per-view. I think Punk is the face going into the pay-per-view, and I think Page is the heel. And then because that will make the people want to see CM Punk win.
Yes, and I knew a lot of people wanted to see Punk kind of going with the, well, you drink, and that means I'm better than you, to Hangman, and I'm very glad they didn't go that route. That's been done way too many times before and doesn't need to be done again at all. I'm glad they're going with this because that's such an easy way out, right?
Yeah.
It's so easy. But this is interesting. I'm excited for next week. I'm excited, and that's exactly what they want, right? They want us to keep us engaged and want to tune in the next week. Well, guess what? That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yep.
So next up, we got Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh, who once again cannot speak any English. He doesn't know he cannot formulate a sentence in English. So Sanjay Dutt asks where the red carpet is for them, and this was in reference to, I'm going to butcher this name, but I'm going to try really, really hard. Konozuki Takashita. How did I do?
I think pretty good. I don't even know it, so.
Okay, so he asks, this is in reference to Konozuki Takashita. He asked where the red carpet is for him, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh. Jay Lethal says it's AEW's fault, not Konozuki's fault, that they're backing the wrong horse. And this is Jay Lethal's no joke, right? Jay Lethal's no joke at all. So he's kind of got a point, dude. Like, AEW is low-key kind of backing the wrong horse and has been a few different times. Because Jay Lethal is no joke, and he should be in the main event scene with no questions asked. He's the longest-reigning Ring of Honor world champion, and they mentioned this in the promo here. But yeah, essentially it's going to be Jay Lethal versus Konosuke Takashita on Rampage in about 4 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't care about this match, I'm going to be honest.
Really?
Really.
I'm excited for this one,
No,
man.
I could not give less than a rat's ass about what's going on with Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh. They need to break the group away from each other because I hate Satnam Singh, Sanjay Dutt. I don't give a shit. Just get rid of them, and let's see Jay Lethal going into some more meaningful stuff.
Oh, sorry. Well, let's see Jay Lethal. What you cut out?
Go into more meaningful stuff.
Go into more meaningful stuff. Well, yeah, I would definitely love to see Jay Lethal go into more meaningful stuff. But personally, I'm excited. I'm hearing good things about the Takashita guy. I believe they said that he came from DDT, which is where Kenny Omega got his start up in. It's where he had those amazing matches with Okada. But yeah, so Jay Lethal versus that guy. I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher his name, so I'm just going to call him that guy. Next up, we got Santana versus Chris Jericho. And as Chris Jericho is coming to the ramp, Justin Roberts announces him as the Wizard Chris Jericho. So this man is constantly reinventing himself.
Well, I mean, he is a sports entertainer, and we did see him throw a fireball at Eddie Kingston, and so we definitely know that by the fact that Eddie Kingston was not here in this match, he's gonna come out with no eyebrows next week.
He's gonna come out what?
No eyebrows.
Yes, we're gonna see not babyface as in good guy. We're going to see babyface as in he's going to look like a baby. He's going to look like an infant.
Yeah.
Next time we see him. But yeah, let's get into the match. During the climax of Judas, I couldn't even tell you what the climax of Judas is. But yeah, that's on that part. Santana topes Jericho, and they start to brawl on the outside. Santana sets up the steel steps, which they actually did use later on in the match. I doubted them for a little bit. I'm like, they're going to forget about these steel steps, aren't they? But they didn't. And Chris Jericho grabs the camera as Santana drops him and the camera, and they kind of did this cool little camera angle situation. Chris Jericho hides behind Aubrey Edwards, but Santana moves her out of the way and kicks Chris Jericho. They go in the ring, and the bell rings, and Chris Jericho does a springboard drop kick, and Santana falls off the side of the ring onto the steel steps. After picture-in-picture, Santana dropped Jericho out of midair, added to the counter. Is it added?
Not yet. I do have some breaking news, too.
Oh, shit. Here, let me finish this match, then we'll get to the breaking news. Out of midair, and they trade blows in the corner before Santana reverses a bulldog and throws Jericho back into the corner, kind of hits in his balls on the second turnbuckle. Santana hits the Three Amigos and climbs the rope, but Jericho meets him there. They trade strikes on the second turnbuckle, and Santana hits a headbutt, dropping Jericho, and then hits a frog splash for 2. Jericho rolls into the walls of Jericho, and Santana reaches the ropes. Jericho removes his elbow pad, and Santana rolls him up for 2. They trade strikes in the ring, and Santana does a rolling cutter, which looked beautiful for 2. This is a lot of 2 counts for Santana. He looked very desperate at this point. Ortiz deals with the folks on the outside, like Matt Menard and the JHS. Sports entertainers,
Sports entertainers.
Sports entertainers. So he deals with the folks on the outside, and Santana hits a rolling lariat for 2 again. It's 4 2 counts for this guy. Santana does a cannonball senton, and Matt Menard jumps on the apron and distracts the ref as Jericho hits a low blow and a Judas effect for 3. Fantastic match. Santana looks like a beast, and Chris Jericho and the JAS look like slimy butts. Then after the match, JHS beat down on Santana as Ortiz, and they do, and this lasts about, 3 minutes, which is a lot shorter than I expected. But hey, they got it done quick. I loved this match. Absolutely loved this match. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Confident.
I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10.
I love this match, bro. I absolutely love it.
It was a good match. It was a good match. So the breaking news, Charlie. Dave Meltzer tweeted the remaining 3,000 tickets held back for today's public sale for Forbidden Door went instantly this morning.
So they sold out instantly?
I think they sold out instantly.
That's great to hear. That's fantastic to hear.
At least that's what I got from you.
Staples Center?
No, it's
Staples.
United Center.
United Center, that's what I meant.
So
as
we get closer here, me and you might have to go on Ticketmaster and see what's cooking here.
Yeah, man, I love Chicago. I love the city. Me and my girl are trying to go to Chicago, and I think we could drag her to a wrestling show.
Oh, we might have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have to see what can happen there, Char.
Yeah, we might have to make something.
If the main event, Charlie, is Kazuchika Okada versus Bryan Danielson, I need to be there.
Yeah, I mean, shit, they're gonna have literally like
the
5-star matches on that card.
The only problem with that is that 2 days after we go to Dynamite, or 3 days after we go to Dynamite.
Problem? That sounds like a solution.
That does sound like a solution to me. Let's move on here, Charlie. We're getting this might be our longest episode of AEW Dynamite review we've ever had.
I'm sorry, what was that?
This might be the longest episode we've ever done.
Oh yeah, this one's going a while.
We're at 120. We're in hour 20. So we get a Samoa Joe promo. Jay Lethal, you're out here making challenges, but challenge our territory for a brave man. This Friday on Rampage, I am coming for you. Not too much, just short and simple here. Just enough to, give you hyped about the match.
Oh yeah, and Samoa Joe, he keeps it short and sweet. We know he's a beast. He doesn't need that many.
No. He
doesn't need that much TV time. We absolutely know exactly what Samoa Joe is.
Yeah. We immediately cut to a Gun Club and Acclaim promo, which I honestly, Charlie, thought it was cringy. They basically they're with Billy Gunn, the Gun Club is, and he says, "We talked to Dad and we got you gifts." They pull out scissors and start scissoring each other.
I thought it was hilarious. I said, I believe it was our Rampage review, that I want to see more of the Acclaimed in backstage segments. I love the Acclaimed. Everybody loves the Acclaimed.
Yeah, everybody loves the Acclaimed.
And I know you're not the biggest fan of this, but I actually am curious. And it is kind of weird that it's going to be very well known that they're going to be the worst faction in AEW, just based off of the members alone. But they got 5 guys in there. I don't know. Maybe they can make something happen.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
AEW does need a jobber faction that's not Dark Order. So that could be them.
Yeah.
Because, instead of bearing a bunch of dark talent against the Elite, they can just throw these guys up against the Elite.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens. We get a Varsity Blondes promo, Charlie, And let me tell you, Julia Hart's eye black is getting bigger and bigger. It's such a great touch here. And I will let you know what happens after the promo. So, Brian Pillman Jr. Is talking here. He says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I stand here today a very humble man, not just from AEW, but from our encounter with House of Black that led to the poisoning of the mind of Julia Hart. Most humbling is watching things around get torn apart little by little." John Harbaugh, who was in the front crowd, says, "I got Carbill and we lost our enthusiasm. And that's when House of Black drove us apart. But today's a great day. I want to protect our group. Varsity Blondes versus House of Black right here, right now. Lights goes off. House of Black's music hits. When they get into the ring, they take it to the Blondes. Pillman gets sent into Griff. Brody hits a cannonball to Griff in the corner. Malachi Black walks to Julia Hart, who is shaking terrified. Buddy leads her to Griff Garrison, and Brody hands Julia Hart a chair. Brody says, "Do it." Julia Hart can't do it. Malachi Black rips off the eye patch, and they never show her eye, and out walks Pac and the Lucha Bros for the save. Great.
Yeah, so I thought the segment was really good up until the end. So I thought it was Brian Pillman. Obviously, in the Varsity Blondes are losing this feud. Sorry, guys. You guys didn't have a chance. I like what they're doing with Julia Hart. This is a slow burn. What irked me the most is the Death Triangle comes out, and they just don't even acknowledge Julia Hart. Like, somebody give her like a jacket to cover her face. You know what I mean? But none of that happens. But I guess it kind of does make sense because it's well stated, at least it used to be, not so much anymore, that the Death Triangle don't really like anybody. Like, they're not heels, but they don't like anybody except for themselves. Like, Pac, in kayfabe, of course, won't talk to anybody in the locker room except for Penta and Phoenix. Like, that's it. So it could have been like that, like, oh, well, that's not our business. You know what I mean? So we're not going to deal with that. But it just felt so weird. Like, this poor 20-year-old girl is in the ring covering her eyes. Somebody help her! Jesus Christ!
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I can't wait to see what keeps transpiring here. I can't wait to see what that eye looks like next week. But hopefully we get to see the eye soon.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see the eye soon. Julia, I feel like if it was Brian Pillman Jr., she would have hit him, just because Brian Pillman Jr. is so goofy. If I was Julia and that was Brian, I would have hit him as well. I didn't even have to be poisoned, just he's just very goofy. But after that, we have the baddies backstage. Are you all good on that front?
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. So we got the baddies backstage. This is Jade Cargill. This is Kiera Hogan, and this is Red Velvet. So Smart Mark Sterling, who's like, I guess, their mouthpiece. Smart Mark says that they've kept the celebration going since Pittsburgh. So that's in reference to Jade getting her 30th win. Red Velvet says that she is going to win the whole Owen Hart tournament because she's qualified. She beat Willow. And Kiera Hogan, so that's on period, and they all do the little period thing. I love Kiera Hogan in this. I love Jade in this. Red Velvet you used the word cringe earlier. I think this is cringy. Only in Red Velvet's case. Kiera Hogan lives the gimmick. I see it in Kiera Hogan. Jade obviously lives the gimmick. We know Jade lives her gimmick. But Red Velvet just kind of came heel out of nowhere, and it just doesn't fit, you know? At least in my opinion.
I think it's good. I think Jade Cargill's rubbing off on Red Velvet and Kiera Hogan, and that's all that you need to see. So I think just give this some time. Red Velvet will be fine, and all that.
Yeah, so we'll obviously see what comes of that. But yeah, we're huge Jade fans here, and for me personally, Kiera Hogan is growing on me. For you, Red Velvet's growing on you. So there we go. That's exactly what they wanted. So next up, we got Dontea Martin and Rey Fenix in a very high-paced, high-flying match. So Rey Fenix is already in the ring from the last segment. And when the match starts, Dontea pushes Rey Fenix and jumps over him, and they're going around the ring a little bit before Fenix hits a high kick and jumps from the top rope to the outside and hits Dontea with a crossbody. After picture-in-picture, Fenix hits a black flipping Russian leg sweep off the second rope, which looked dope. It was, I guess, Excalibur called it a back flipping Russian leg sweep. I've never seen it before. They haven't seen it before. We're calling it a back flipping Russian leg sweep. Phoenix tries for a rolling elbow, but gets reversed into an inside-out suplex. And both men, this is when I realized and noted that both men are literally just floating out there, bro. Like, they are looking so good. Phoenix looks so good. Dontea looks incredible. Dante Martin needs more of a gimmick that, other than just look at this fucking guy. Because that's kind of what his whole gimmick is. It's like, just like, look at this fucking kid. Like, you know what I mean? That's his whole shtick. But his facials are getting better, a lot better.
Yep.
If you didn't know, he used to work in a mask. So that's why his facials have always been a little bit lackluster, is because he obviously used to work in a mask. You don't need to worry about facials. But when they brought him into AEW, they took the mask off of him and said, all right, you're Dante Martin now. So his facials are getting there. But yeah, Dante Martin hits a diving crossbody for 2, and then hits a reverse suplex for 2. Rey Fenix hits a Hurricane Rana for 2, and then rolls out of the ring. I guess Dante Martin's breakup of the pin kind of forced Rey Fenix out of the ring. After some struggle, Fenix hits a pop-up cutter for 2. This was a freaking amazing move.
Yep. Do we add that to the
this
counter?
I don't think it quite counts.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Hey, I was just asking the question. I personally don't think it counts either, but I was just asking.
Yes, I think if Dante Martin jumped from the third rope into the cutter, that's where it counts.
Fair enough.
So Fight Forever chants start, and Dante reverses a move. I didn't even know what to call it. I'm sorry, I'm uneducated. Into a roll-up for 2. Dante Martin and Rey Fenix are both facing the crowd at the top rope, and they both do a backflip into the ring, and then Dante Martin hits a poison rana. I didn't really get the whole double backflip spot. It didn't really make much sense for the match. It's kind of like that flippy shit that people complain about a lot, and I'd have to agree with them here. Dante Martin tries for a double springboard moonsault, his finisher. But Rey Fenix moves out of the way, and after some struggle, Rey Fenix hits a Phoenix driver for 3, and Rey Fenix moves on and is your 7th member of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament.
Yeah, I'm actually going to post the tournament right now. There it is. So we're getting Rey Fenix versus Kyle O'Reilly, Samoa Joe versus the Joker, Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin, Adam Cole versus Dax Hardwood.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a very good tournament. And once again, we've mentioned this multiple times before. We're going to have a tournament kind of like prediction ceremony. But Freeman, who are your picks for the Joker?
So my picks for the Joker, just looking at this, so I placed the image back up again, Charlie. I think we see either Cesaro, his name now is Claudio. I think we see Claudio. I think we see Johnny Gargano, or Kenny Omega. One of those 3.
Did you mention Miro?
One of those 4.
Yeah, so you might point. I just have to make assumptions and read your lips. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think all the 4 of those names are the ones who we see. I think at first on the Twitter Spaces, my first thought was Kenny Omega, and then we see a Adam Cole versus Kenny Omega finals. But after some thinking, like, they're probably going to bring Kenny Omega in a bigger moment. We need to think of somebody who can reasonably go over Samoa Joe. We need somebody about the size of Samoa Joe who is notably talented in the ring, right? Who's established in AEW, and I think that person is Miro for sure. And I think we actually do see Miro going over Samoa Joe here.
I don't think it's clean.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
I think Jay Lethal is going to interfere, cost Samoa Joe the match, and that'll be that.
Yep, 100%. And I think we then see Miro absolutely destroy Kyle O'Reilly, who I do think is going to beat Rey Fenix. Just to keep up with this whole elite in the Owen Hart tournament shtick kind of thing.
Yeah, we're good? Are we good? We're good.
Yep, we're good.
I can't think of it. I lost my train of thought here. I think that the tournament it should be great. That's what I was gonna do. That's what I was looking at. Then I lost my train of thought. I think we see. So I think the Joker is gonna win because Jay Lethal is gonna cost Samoa Joe the match. Oh wait, we're not supposed to be talking about this.
No, yeah. So we're gonna save that whole talk. I'm not telling you, Freeman. Obviously, I'm telling the people, the viewers.
Yep.
That we are going to have our prediction show, which is we're going to be going over the actual bracket, and we'll have slides up, and so we're going to go through the entire bracket, go through our predictions, go through which matches are going to feature some fuck shit. And yeah, it'll be a good time.
Yeah. So then we get to the Darby Allin versus Sting promo. Darby Allin says, not a lot I can say about the match itself. The match writes itself. He's talking about Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin, of course. It's going to be a special night. Sting says, Jeff, you and Darby are going to pull out all the stops. It's going to be a special night.
Yeah.
Oh.
I actually have some thoughts about this. You know, it was a small second, but I actually do have some thoughts. So this right here is exactly why you have Sting with Darby. Darby Allin is a fantastic wrestler, kind of struggles on the mic a little bit. You could see it physically. Darby Allin forgot what his next line was going to be. Well, guess what? You got Sting right next to you, bro. Sting helped him out big time during this segment. He was right there with them, and the second he realized that Darby lost his train of thought, he's like, all right, I got it from here, kid. And that was really cool to see. Very cool to see.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great match between Jeff and Darby, and I can't wait to see like how they build the story. Like, I wonder who's gonna hit more finisher. Obviously, the winner is gonna hit more finishers, but I can't wait to see who gets the first one off, the Swanton or the coffin drop. It's gonna be very, very, very special.
It's going to be a very special moment, and I hope they give it the time.
I think they will.
The show that way they only get one commercial. Yeah, I'm very excited for this. I'm a huge Darby fan. I'm a huge Jeff fan, despite how I'm talking about him these days.
But, it might even be the main event.
Yeah, it seems like they always cram too much in the show, and the main event only gets like 10 minutes, though.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I'm saying I don't want it to be the main event.
That's the problem you got with like a loaded roster, like what we're seeing. And I mean, I don't know. Isn't this the same problem that WCW had? Didn't they have an overcrowded roster?
Yes.
Isn't that what led them to their destruction?
So what happened with WCW, I'll give you a little bit of a history lesson. What happened is they formed their company and they got their guys. They got their Kevin Nash, their who did Razor Ramon play? I'm so
Scott
sorry.
Hall.
Scott Hall.
Hey, yo.
They got their Scott Hall. And they got their Bret Hart. And I believe that those are the three guys who, in their contract, it stated that nobody on the roster can be paid more than them. That no matter at any given point in time that they are the most paid people on the roster. So if they have a 2-year contract, well, shit, WCW has 2 years of free agents they need to pay. Well, they can't. They have to, even if it's a Hulk Hogan, even if it's a Shawn Michaels, even if it's a Bret Hart, they have to pay Scott Hall and Kevin Nash the same amount as them. So they screwed themselves in the beginning just based off of how the contracts were formulated, and eventually they just went bankrupt.
Yeah.
But in terms of this, there's it wasn't Supercard of Honor. It was like the final true Ring of Honor show. It was a few months back, and it was supposed to be Jonathan Gresham versus Bandito.
Yeah.
In the main event. This is not Supercard of Honor. This is the pay-per-view before Supercard of Honor. Eventually, Bandito got COVID and had to be Jay Lethal instead. So it was supposed to be a 3-hour pay-per-view, and the main event got 7 minutes because nobody could hit their times. So know who that screws? It screws the biggest match on the card. So hitting your times is so important because every single time you don't hit your times, it's not going to be the next match that gets short. They're not going to want to get cut. It's always going to be the main event that gets cut short. So it's so important that, especially when you have a loaded roster like this, that people hit their times. It's so important.
Yeah, I do want to talk a little bit more about this in the main event. So I kind of want to save my thoughts until the main event, if that's okay.
Sure, yeah.
So I do want. Let's get into the Thunder Rosa promo now. Rosa
Yeah.
says, "As you can see, I stand here as the undisputed champion. I fought hard to retain the championship. When I came here, I want to elevate the women's roster, and I carried hard work and became who I am today. I elevated this women's division. Today, I will tell you that I am the meta. I am the top competitor. Before Thunder Rosa, I drove up the coastline of California. 8 hours to see the person who inspired me to become Thunder Rosa, who is also the #1 contender. Serena Deeb walks out. Been a long time. I haven't watched you, or I've watched you earn it. I respect you, and I know what I believe. We can make this the best women's division in the world, but the best women's wrestler in the world needs to be the champion. Thunder Rosa, doesn't this indicate I am the best wrestler in the world today, as she is pointing to the championship? Deep says, sure, you're the champion, but Rosa, be real. It's what everybody knows, but doesn't want to say it. I'm on another level. I am in a class all by myself. It's about time I have the championship to show that. Thunder Rosa said, do you want to place a bet? Deep says, sure. You're about to have the shortest AEW title reign in history. At Double or Nothing, I will take your championship. I will see you in Vegas. Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb, Double or Nothing for the Women's AEW Championship.
This was the best women's promo we've had in a few months on AEW television.
You want to know why? Because Thunder Rosa could actually get a word in.
Yeah. And it gave, literally. One little gripe I have, because I have a little gripe about everything. Thunder Rosa needs to stop talking over the other person she's sharing promo time with. Deeb, and I think that might be the language, possibly.
I won't even argue it.
Yeah, so, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'm not even going to argue it.
Yeah, 100%. It's just a little thing I noticed. It just makes her sound a little, I don't know what the word is, whiny? You know what I mean? Yep. Like, you take turns. Like, you say your shtick, then they say your shtick. And in some cases, you get to rebuttal, and then they get to rebuttal. It's not like a presidential debate. You're trying to build a fight. You know, let the other person talk.
I do. We're huge Thunder Rosa fans on the channel, though. Huge.
We want her to win this match coming up.
We do. She will.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a little gripe.
Yeah.
I thought overall, best women's AEW promo in months.
Yeah.
And it didn't even involve Britt Baker. Imagine that.
Nope.
So next up we got John Silver.
D.
Exactly. We got John Silver backstage just by himself, and he says that and he asks CM Punk if he wants to dance with the Meat Man. He says he's got 2 sirloins as biceps, and he also mentions the fact that it's his hometown next week. And overall, this should be a good build-up match for Punk. I expect him to get the win after a little bit of a battle. I expect it to maybe go 10 minutes or so. Exciting stuff.
I want to see one of these times. I want to see John Silver versus MJF in New Jersey.
Versus who? I'm sorry, your mic.
I want to see John Silver versus MJF in New Jersey, in Long Island.
Yeah. See, that would create a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
And a very unpredictable dynamic
as
well.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I think MJF would get cheered, and it'd be great.
Let's go Silver, MJF.
Let's go Silver.
Exactly that.
Let's go, or it's probably or MJF Silver sucks. Let's go.
Yeah, literally.
Something like that.
So yeah, it's the main event, and this is when in our Twitter Spaces we looked on the clock, and they haven't even introduced the first combatant yet, and it's 9:50 at this point. So they had to rush the shit. Deonna Perizzo looks like $1 million, not in the sense like a sexual attractiveness way, just like the way she carries herself, very Ric Flair-esque, very Shawn Michaels-esque, just like good, and she knows that she's good. So Deonna Perizzo kicks away the Code of Honor, and they start slow with the headlock. They both dodge chops in the corner, and then they meet eye to eye angrily. Deonna Perizzo does a dope arm lock with her legs as they go to picture in picture. Mercedes Martinez then hits a spear on the apron, and they trade strikes on the ring before Mercedes Martinez hits a backdrop suplex and a big boot for 2. Deonna Perizzo locks in her Fujiwara armbar, but Mercedes Martinez breaks it, and Deonna Perizzo does a standing moonsault for 2. Deonna Perizzo reverses a pile driver with a running knee and a fisherman suplex. She then hits an exploder out of nowhere for 2. And Mercedes Martinez hits a jackknife, and Deonna Perizzo tries for the Fujiwara armbar again, but Mercedes Martinez breaks it again. And they both hit a double clothesline, and they slowly get back to their feet. Deonna Perizzo then hits a boot, and they meet at the top rope. And Mercedes Martinez hits an attitude adjustment and a curb stomp. And after an hour, she finally locks in her Dragon Sleeper for the win. I liked everything about this match, except for the time they gave it and how long it took Mercedes Martinez to lock in her finisher. That needs to be quick. That needs to be like, I'm an expert at this hold. I've put in this hold 1,000 times at thousands of people. That needs to be quick. Like, lock it in. Get the legs, get the arms, turn around. Lock it. Quick.
I think the problem was that they were out of time, and she was trying to do it too quickly, and I think that was the problem. Is sometimes when you're doing, sometimes when you're doing something, too quickly, it actually takes longer to do it than shorter.
Mm-hmm. And not to compare her to the greatest technical wrestler of all time, Bryan Danielson. But when you see him do moves, it's like bam, bam, triangle, bam, transition to an armbar, bam, transition to a Fujiwara armbar, bam. Like, it's so quick. Same thing with Bobby Fish as well. Just quickness, quick. But yeah, it is what it is. It could have 100% been like, oh, the referee's like, hey, we got to finish this up in like 30 seconds. And then they start to panic a little bit. And they start to slip up a little bit. That probably is what it was. I like both these two women as competitors. I would have loved to see this go longer, and that's, nothing that you could do about it, I guess. Once again, we were just talking about it. You got to hit your times so shit like this doesn't happen.
Yeah. What was your match of the night?
My match of the night was Santana versus Jericho. I thought that was a fantastic grudge match.
I think my match of the night is going to be Rey Fenix versus Dante Martin. I thought that was a phenomenal match. And I think my promo of the night has to be Thunder Rosa promo.
Yeah, let me see. Nothing's really jumping out at me for the promo of the night. I guess Gun Club versus The Acclaimed entertained me the most.
Yeah.
If that's what we're judging it by.
Okay. Oh, actually, I'm changing my answer to the William Regal vignette.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, if that counts, I like it.
But this was a long one, Char.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties again, but we pulled through as we always do.
We did. You just got to roll with the punches,
Always, yeah.
Always. But thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to follow us on Twitter. You guys see them on your screens right now. You can also go down below in the description. Follow us on TikTok, Heel Turns and High Spots on TikTok. Click a like on the video. Hit that subscribe button. And now I'm going to send it to Charlie for a couple of words.
Yep, you got to treat each other with respect and support your local independent wrestling, and I want you to tell me who your favorite independent wrestler is in the comments, and if you don't, come into your house and I'm stealing your left leg. Yep. So you better get on that shit.
Remember, we have a like goal of 20 likes on this. I think we're at like 8 or 9 right now, so keep those coming in, and let's get to 20. And until Sunday,